Welcome back. Ha ha. All right, let me stop trolling. Hey, appreciate y'all pulling back up. Yes, sir. So today we getting into corporate jobs give the illusion of stability. This is a topic me and my mom talked about, and we actually talk about that a lot. But I'm always on the fence. I'm one of those people. Hey, if you find something you're passionate about, go for it. And especially if you're very passionate about it to the point where it doesn't even feel like a job, I'm saying, man, forget the 9 to 5 talk. Go out there and do your thing. But also don't let social media push you to the point to where you think that a 9 to 5 is not something that you need, or no, you need to be an entrepreneur, you need to have your own business, you need to be a millionaire. That's what's being pushed out there on social media. It's okay to work a 9 to 5 to get to the point to where you need to get to. You can also become a millionaire working a 9 to 5. These CEOs, they're working 9 to 5s. They just are making more money than the average person. So don't let social media and the illusion of a 9 to 5 being a bad thing prevent you from wanting to go get you a 9 to 5. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with going to school, getting your degree, and finding a great job. I would just say, just don't let that thing be just don't let that job be the thing that consumes you to the point to where it's predictable, it's boring, and just you feel like life is just on repeat. It's Groundhog Day. I think that's just not something, you just can't really enjoy life like that way, in my opinion. But I don't want to do too much yapping, but I will say, just to end off my little point, with 9 to 5s, I think the thing that really blew me all the time is how much time you're taking up. You're taking up 40 hours in a week. I have to ask another grown person to take vacation time. That blows me. I ain't never like that. And you only get 2 days to really do your own thing. You really only get 2 days to kind of do your own thing, relax and everything. But I have a feeling there's a whole corporate structure set up around this whole thing to where they purposely put it in place the way you work in 40 hours. So you can be as productive as possible to help these big companies get as much out of you as possible so they can increase their profits, not overwork you, and also make you feel like you're doing something for yourself as well as the company. But just want a quick little yap sesh. It is what it is. Let's go ahead and get into it. Oh, by the way, this is by Dee's Perspectives, DEE apostrophe S Perspectives. All right, let's go ahead.
I actually think that it is insane that as adults, we have to ask other adults if we can take time off to live the life that we want to live. That is what working in 9 to 5 is. That is what it is like to ask for a vacation. I can't believe that I was in the corporate world for 5 years. Like, you will never catch me working in 9 to 5 ever again. Like, you're telling me as an adult, I have to ask another adult for permission to take my vacation, my time off to live my life. No, thank you.
The fact that I have to make a presentation, I have to have a meeting about slides that I have to make for a meeting. And then I have to have another meeting to show people the slides for that meeting, to make sure we're all aligned on the slides for the meeting. And then we go to the meeting, and then we have a meeting after the meeting to talk about the meeting and the to-dos that came from that meeting. Then we do some of the to-dos, and then we have an alignment meeting to align on if the to-dos are being done. And I just don't care anymore, and I don't want to do one more presentation.
Honestly, I do not know what is stable about corporate job right now. Like, maybe what is stable about it might be the steady layoffs that is definitely coming every single time.
She's not capping. Boy, one thing for sure, them layoffs is the only thing stable about any of these corporate jobs. My current job, in November, literally right before the holidays, they laid off 13,000 people. I'm like, man, you couldn't even wait to the new year? You laid them off right before the holidays. Man, that was, I feel so bad for those people. I hope all of them were able to find new jobs. But I know the job market right now is absolute trash. But back to what I was saying, that's what I'm saying. These companies won't hesitate to lay you off, but they want you to show up and give them everything you got. But even if that's not enough, they'll drop you, you know, with no hesitation, no hesitation. So, when I meet people who are loyal to these big businesses, it blows my mind because it's like, hey, guess what, buddy? Guess what, ma'am? That company does not care about you. You're just another body. You're just another body to them. You can get laid off at any minute. Oh, economy's not on our side right now. Yep, you're getting laid off. It's such a scary fact, but that's the world we live in.
But anyway, we're gonna be checking out these videos about corporate jobs and how a lot of people are saying that it's like gives the illusion of stability, because corporate jobs are known to be like the stable jobs. You have a stable life, you're just living your life, a corporate normal lifestyle. But then at the end of the day, people are actually bringing up conversations, the real conversation about how this is an illusion, the stability that you're talking about, because of some of the problems that come with this. Not saying that it's absolutely bad for you to have a corporate job, but it's just pointing out some things because there's always a good and bad part of things. But before we get right into this video and check it out, please make sure you click the like button. It helps with the algorithm, and I
Most
appreciate that so much.
definitely.
It
All
helps with the
right, you already got a
algorithm, and I
like.
appreciate that so much. Let's get right into this video.
I keep seeing videos of people like getting laid off, and it just has me thinking, like, in today's society, we are sold this idea that the goal is to get a stable job, to reap X, Y, and Z benefits from stable job, get X amount of vacation days, maybe climb the ladder. But when you truly, truly think about it, stability is an illusion that they sell us, because I think we confuse stability with predictability. And what I mean by that is, to an extent, you can predict, what you will get paid in 2 weeks, in a month, or whatever. You can predict how many days of vacation you will get, but really you can't even predict that you will walk in the next day and have that same job. To a 100% degree, you cannot predict that. And I think that is sold to us by people who are higher than us, because they don't want us to be up there with them. They want us to remain down here. All of our desires and our goals remain in stability, but it's an illusion. It's not.
We live in a capitalistic society. Everything is based on profits, business. That is the forefront of the United States of America. The rich they have designed this system to where the rich will get richer and the poor will stay poor. This has been designed to where once you're at the top, you stay at the top. They don't want a bunch of people at the top, because obviously the system would not work if everybody's wealthy. You have to have workers, you have to have laborers, you have to have people at the bottom. So unfortunately, that's just how things are. And once people understand that, they will just I feel like they wouldn't, I guess, no, if you I feel like if you better understand that, you either put yourself in a position to work your way to the top, or you're okay being right where you are and taking life day by day. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with either or position. All depends on that individual. But yeah, this society is not set up to help anybody. You got to help yourself. But there is a bunch of opportunities in place to where you can get to the top if you want to, such as YouTube, such as e-commerce. I mean, there's so many different opportunities available for you to get to the financial place that you want to get to for you and your family.
Not real. And I can go on and on about this topic, but I say that just to say, like, the true value that you will bring will be correlated in the skill sets that you have. So soft skills, hard skills. And I know not everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. Obviously, like, some people, I understand the need and the want for predictability. Obviously, as a mother, I understand, but the true value that you will bring to any company or your own business will be in the skill sets that you have. And yeah, I just say don't stress yourself out over a job that you don't even know will be there tomorrow. Remember that you are the prize.
My job has a 15-minute meeting every single morning to talk about what we did yesterday and what we're going to do today for each person's task. That way, everybody is up to date on things that are being done on the team. Okay, it takes 15 minutes max. There's like 7 of us, and we skip right through it. Everybody's up to date. We get the point. Middle management talks for 2 to 3 hours in this meeting. It is genuinely making me lose my mind. And I'm missing important information because somewhere in the 2 to 3 hours of meaningless word talking, it's like they're trying to hit word counts, somebody will say something important. And I won't hear it because I've already zoned out because my active listening skill does not extend for 120 to 180 minutes. Shut the fuck up. Just say what needs to be said and leave. You do not need to hit a word count for the doctoral thesis. And because we have 4 middle management managers sitting in this meeting, they all take turns trying to get their piece of the talking cake in. It's insane. We have a new manager. I'll give you an example. He was like, all right, the new year started. And he was like, thanks for, helping me transition into leading this team, whatever. And it was a long ass thank you. It was longer than a fucking Oscar award winning speech. It's insane. It's like a graduation speech. He gives it. And then his manager is like, yeah, you know what? I want to thank you too. Takes just as long to say thank you. And then an unrelated project manager is also like, you know what, I'm going to thank you too. Takes just as long. And then the 4th manager, thank you, just as long.
Yo, I can relate. I can relate to what he chatting about, man. So with my current job now, obviously we don't have that many managers on one team. We only have one manager over our team, and then there's a guy over him. But the meetings every morning, or sometimes it jumps from one morning to another morning. Sometimes it's not even consistent, but to literally wake up at right now it's 10. To wake up at 10 in the morning, still I still crusty, still trying to figure out, what I'm doing today, if I'm gonna make it through work. You got this 15-minute meeting of going over stuff that happened yesterday, or going over the same numbers that we already know about that still have not updated, and just literally just chatting about absolutely nothing. And similar to what he said, zoned out. Honestly, as soon as I click into the meeting, I am zoned out. I don't even hear anybody say, hey, I don't hear nothing. I'm zoned out the entire meeting, not paying any attention. And the beauty of it is I work from home. So 9 times out of 10, I'm probably on my phone scrolling through social media, or listening to some music, or watching a YouTube video. So if anything important is said, 9 times out of 10, I'm asking the question again. I'm asking it again. Or I end up finding out later on that, oh, this is what was said. Yeah, my job, trust me, I'm known for not knowing what's going on, and people having to be like, hey, did you know about this? Or I'm like, nah, I didn't. But I appreciate it if you let me know.
Are we at fucking Thanksgiving? Why are we talking for so long? Send him an email. Say, hey, good job. Thanks for stepping up. And then shut the fuck up. This 15-minute meeting, just the thank you part was 20 minutes. How do you thank someone for 20 minutes? I'm Jesus.
Okay, so one of my favorite creators on here, Holly Jama, she's documenting how she left her corporate job, and she worded something that I struggled to word for so long, because around over a year ago, there's so much lore that happened between then, but let's just say that I had a corporate internship that was going to be a full-time offer. It was 6 figures, but my time at this internship was so spiritually, emotionally, and mentally draining on me. And when I tried to tell people, like, I don't know if I want to take this offer, everyone's like, it's 6 figures, you should take the fucking job. And no shade, like, you're basically telling me that you would tap dance, you would sell your soul to a corporate job. And I feel empowered to make this video now because am I the only one that thinks that, like, corporate provides the illusion of stability? Because when not even spiritually, but I think that corporate jobs give you the illusion of stability because they're emotionally draining, they're spiritually draining. Even for me, as someone who's creative, like, the ritual of going to a desk for 8 hours, smiling when I don't want to smile, performing in ways that are not regular to my nervous system, that adds up over time. And I remember working my last internship, having this intuitive feeling the whole summer that like, don't take this job, don't take this job, don't take this job. But everyone was like, take the job because it's the most money and the economy's bad, da, da, da. But in a weird way, things happened so that I couldn't even take the job anyways. But I'm so glad I didn't, because I realized that during that summer, I was making the most money financially. Like I was making $41 an hour, but I also had the most energetic leaks ever. Random injuries, car issues, my journals. When I look at my journals when I was working corporate jobs, oh my God, I didn't know how I didn't go into a psych ward. But I want to say that I think that corporate long-term gives you the illusion of stability, because like I said earlier in the video, sitting at a desk and being fake for 40 hours a week, that shit, like your body keeps score. Like your body recognizes that. And especially as a Black woman in corporate, you're expected to kind of swallow disrespect and let it sit in your body. Also, this is going to be a little bit vain, but I was really fucking ugly when I was working a corporate job. Like I looked so fucking ugly and disgusting. Inflamed.
Anyway, I don't know what she chatting about. She going into looks, but what I will say, on the other part of it, I think the illusion comes with the familiarity of it. The fact that since we were young, we were told, go to school, go to elementary, middle, high school. Well, it's like program. We're like robots. Once you get out of school, the next obvious step, got to be college, right? Got to be college. So you go to college, you get the degree. If I'm not mistaken, I'm like 50-60% of people go into college, get the degree, right? They get a degree that they don't even use. Once you get that degree, you're supposed to be set up for life. But what a lot of people fail to understand, especially at that college level, is that if you don't get a degree in something that's basically going nowhere, like technology, medical field, things of that nature, and you just walk in there and get a regular business degree, that's not guaranteed. That's not going to guarantee you a job that's going to pay well, just because you have that piece of paper in your hand. It's not. It's not. I mean, you could get a business degree and be making $40,000 a year. So you went to college, possibly got a bunch of debt, and you're making the same amount that I would have made not even going to college and working a regular job as a server or a busser or a waiter. So I just that's the illusion of it all. It provides that somewhat that security that, oh, if I get a corporate job, then I'm set. I'm good. I'm working at a desk. I mean, there's very low chance that I could get fired because I'm not doing much work. As long as I stay on top of my work and I'm pleasant, I should be good, right? Everything should be fine. No, but when the economy's not on your side, and or these companies feel like, oh, we got too many people and we're losing money, so why don't we lay people off so we're not losing so much as a business. That's when that illusion of stability starts to, you get a reality check real quick.
Flame. And I knew long term that this was not a safe path for me, because I think the trick is that you see the amount of money you're making and you think you're
Also, I wanted to hit on the point she was talking about, emotionally, spiritually, mentally. She took the biggest toll. And usually people who are making a lot of money usually are taking a big toll in those areas, but they kind of push through it because they're making the most money they've ever made in their lives. And you have to be able to make that decision for yourself. Is the money worth it, or is my mental health more important? It all depends on that person. I personally believe take mental health all day, because at the end of the day, you can always bounce back and make money. You can always bounce back and make money. It may not be with that specific company, it may not even be in that specific career field, but I think in the long run, your mental health is way more important than making some money. That's just how I look at it.
stable, but you're not. Because I think people, especially on this app, people hear a dollar amount attached to money. And this is a quote that I made up. Numbers don't lie, but they can trick you. Like, yes, you're making 6 figures at this job, but the value of that 6 figures is your mental health, your creative energy. I'm spiritual. I believe that it comes at the cost of your creative energy, because I had no inspiration or energy to create at all when I was working a corporate job. And for me, as someone who dances, I write, like, I love to just make art as a practice for my wellness. Like, that shit, like, I just can't see a life where I'm not doing that. And if even in that short spurt of time I was already having like random issues, and I would say that like this felt a little bit spiritual, like God or the universe was telling me to get out. But like, even if I still stayed there, like, I think over time, like, even the fact of like that ritual, what good is all that money? And what good is all the money I'm saving for this corporate job if I have a health problem 5 to 10 years from now, and God knows how fucking expensive healthcare is? All that money is gone. So what's the stability? Not only that, as a Black woman in corporate, your stability is in the hands of someone who may misread you, and when they misread you, your job is at stake. Because that's what happened to me. If I wasn't enthusiastic enough, if I wasn't tap dancing my feet and entertaining people in the office, it's, oh, she's not a good employee, she's incompetent. That's not stability. Okay, like, even though I have not worked a corporate job since, I think that I've developed so much more internal stability. Like, even on this page, like, I create and I post for fun because I have internal stability, and I don't need to, this is going to be controversial, no shade to anyone that works a corporate job, but I don't need to rely on a paycheck every 2 weeks to.
Also, unfortunately, of our skin color, Black people out here, man, once you finally get that corporate job that you probably been working so hard for, you gotta understand you gotta work even harder to maintain that job. We have to go above and beyond to maintain a job like that, because we're looked at as, we're not even supposed to be in a predicament like that. So just my advice to anybody working any corporate job, any job that you would consider a career, because I separate job and career. Career is something you see yourself doing long term. You see you see yourself moving up in the company. You see your salary even increasing over the long term. They may even offer a step program, great benefits, things of that nature. Um, oh wow. Hmm. I just lost my train of thought. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and keep it moving.
Feel stable. Like, I know if there's an emergency, I am stable enough.
Oh, that's what it was. Just be careful. That's the main thing. Be careful. If you see yourself at at a career that you want to stay there for the long run, for the long term, uh, just be aware. Just be aware. Be safe. Don't try and mingle with everybody. Don't try and make everybody your friend because you think that's a good idea. Trust me, as somebody who's had experience and who got let go from a good job, because I was trying to mingle and I was trying to be everybody's friend, it doesn't work. Them people don't care about you. Those people will step on you to get to. They will step on anybody to make their way to the top. And I had to experience that for the first time in my life, and I learned a lot from that situation. I don't blame anybody but myself. But I like to say, be careful and don't try and make everybody your friend, man. Just move with caution.
In myself to know that I can handle it, because that, not being in corporate forces you to teach that skill. And if you're in corporate and you suddenly get laid off, you are so used to being you're so used to getting paid to perform in inauthentic ways that if an emergency strikes, your nervous system is just hijacked. You know what I'm saying? Like, corporate jobs hijack your sense of stability by giving you the illusion. It's a spiritual, y'all. It gives you the illusion of stability. Like, yes, you might see this amount of money in your page. Not saying that this is like quit your be entrepreneur and quit corporate. It works for some people, but in the large scheme of things, it's very much a get in, get out thing. It's not a stable job. It's not as stable as people make it seem to be. And as someone who's had fun employment seasons and as someone who was in corporate, I find that my relationship with my finances and with money is more stable when I'm forced to be 100% responsible for how much money is in my account. And since it being over a year since I've last worked a job, my relationship with discipline has improved because now I do things, I create things, and I do things not because there's a manager that's going to fire me if I don't do it. It's because I want to do it. And I think that in a way, like, I did have this little like roadblock earlier this year where I was like, damn, like, I'm stupid, I fumbled that job. But then I realized that like my work ethic is so much different than it was a year ago, because it was kind of like, no shade to anyone that works a corporate job, but like, corporate job kind of puts you in a mode of like, you need to dangle the donut to get you to run on the treadmill. I'm gonna run on the fucking treadmill because I want to fucking run on the treadmill. That's the difference. And even when I was working a corporate job, it felt like with all the saving, all the time management, it felt like all of my extra resources were just getting put into returning my nervous system to a baseline. Like, I'm getting depleted at work and then I'm spending the time after work trying to just get to a baseline. But as a creative, you're not going to create or finish any projects if your nervous system is at a baseline. You usually create from an overflow of energy. Like, I want to dance because I have extra energy. I want to write because I have extra energy. And you never have that overflow of energy at your expense because you have to get back to a baseline and then you got to go back to bed to get up for work. Do you know what I'm saying here? Like, and I know this is a long video, but my last point is that corporate, I realized this year that corporate sent me this messaging in my nervous system that like, being safe means performing it in authentic ways. I must censor myself. I must be inauthentic to be safe in the workplace. I can't be too this. I can't say the wrong thing. I can't do the wrong thing. Obviously, in every office, you have a code of ethics and things like that. But office politics are a very real thing, and the risk of being misunderstood and misread is very high, especially as a Black woman in the office. So I found that when I was working a corporate job, I was always trying to make myself legible to people instead of just being myself. Because if I'm just myself, then I'm aggressive, I'm mean, I'm da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't realize that it was like energetically straining to force myself to be legible to people. I need to be palatable and be understood so that people can tolerate my presence, if that makes sense. So yeah, this was a long video, but the thesis is that corporate jobs give you the illusion of stability, and it's not as stable as people make it out to be.
The moment I knew I couldn't go back to traditional employment was when I was scrolling through job sites, trying to figure out my next move. I was doing what you're supposed to do, updating my CV, optimizing my LinkedIn, looking at roles in my field, expanding my search to adjacent industries. And I realized there was not one single job I actually wanted to do. Not one. And it's because the entire structure, the idea of applying for permission to do work someone else defined for a salary someone else determined with autonomy someone else controls, felt fundamentally wrong. And I just couldn't unsee it. So let me give you some context here. I'd spent months on a career break. I'd had time to think without the noise of full-time employment clouding my judgment. I'd done some soul searching, and I'd asked myself what I actually wanted from work, not what I thought I should want. And the answer was really clear. I wanted to build something on my own terms. I wanted to work on problems I found interesting with people I chose to work with in a structure that gave me flexibility and autonomy and the ability to scale my income without scaling my hours. And none of the jobs I was looking at offered that. They offered a decent salary. They offered the appearance of career progression, but they didn't offer ownership. They didn't offer real autonomy. They didn't offer the ability to build something that was mine. And once I admitted to myself that I was fundamentally misaligned with the entire employment structure, I couldn't make myself go back. I couldn't physically sit in the interviews and pretend I was excited about the opportunity. I couldn't negotiate salary packages when what I actually wanted wasn't more money. It was a different way of working completely. So I stopped applying and I started building instead. And I'm not going to romanticize it because yes, it was terrifying. Yes, it was filled with uncertainty. And there were months where I questioned whether I'd made the right decision. But the alternative, going back to that structure that I knew was wrong for me, just because it felt safer, that just seemed infinitely worse. Because honestly, in traditional employment, when you know it's not aligned, it gets harder, not easier. Every year you stay, you get more comfortable, you get more financially dependent, you get more embedded in a lifestyle that requires that steady paycheck. And the gap between where you are and where you want to be just keeps getting wider until one day you wake up and you realize you spent decades building someone else's dream because you were too afraid to build your own. And that was the final straw for me. Not just realizing
Yeah, she's speaking facts on that one, especially with the being so comfortable and being so reliant on the job to the point to where you blink and you've been here for 20 years and you're like, wow, I spent 20 years at Walmart. Some people don't even promote. Some people just spend 20 years at Walmart bagging groceries, grabbing the carts from outside, and you know that's fine for them, and that's cool. I ain't downplaying working at Walmart for 20 years. You do what's best for you, but when it comes to the fact that you just time goes by so fast and you just become so comfortable and you just become so reliant on that paycheck from that job, you just are hesitant to take that leap for change because it's like, damn, this is so comfortable. I've been doing this for X amount of time. I don't want to change because if I change, I don't know what's on the other side, and what's on the other side could be bad. And now I've been put myself in a bad predicament. It depends on the type of person you are. I'm always one of those people that say, take that leap, take that leap. I'm very much a person that's like always pushing for stability. But after experiencing what I've experienced within working a career and having to forcibly resign or having to be fired, and you kind of have to scatter and figure things out, you realize that that is an illusion. The stability is an illusion. Like that's not the best step to take all the time. You can go out there and take a risk, especially if you see yourself in a redundant cycle of doing the same thing over and over and over, and you just had that feeling in your gut that it's like, I could be doing something better. I could be doing something different. I'm more passionate about this. I'm more passionate about that. Man, hop on the internet, man. Use your resources and start finding a way to incorporate what you like to do, and maybe find a way to make some money off of it. Find a way to turn it into a business, or find a way to jump into something else that you're more passionate about. There's different ways.
Didn't want any of these jobs, but realizing that if I didn't create my own lane now, I probably never would. So I decided, if there's no job I want to apply for, I'll create the work I want to do. If there's no role that's going to give me what I need, I will build the structure that does. And that decision didn't start with a business plan. It started with a question. And that's, if I'm not willing to keep applying for jobs that I don't want, what do I already have that I could use to build something of my own? And that was really critical, because it wasn't what should I learn next or what industry should I pivot to. It was, what skills am I already sitting on that could support the life I want to live? Because when you strip employment back to its basics, it's simple. You're solving problems, you're producing outcomes, you're creating value just inside a structure that owns it for you. And once I saw that, I stopped seeing my experience as a CV or a resume and started seeing it as raw material, skills I'd taken for granted, patterns in problems that I naturally solve, ways that I thought or communicated things, ways that I made decisions. Literally being able to pull all of these things from my career capital, that's when building something of my own stopped feeling abstract and started feeling practical. And this is the part most people get stuck on, because they know they don't want to go back. They know that the structure is wrong, but they don't know how to translate what they already have into something viable. And that's exactly why I built the Skills to Income tool. And it's not to push you into entrepreneurship or tell you to quit your job. It's about helping you see clearly what skills you already have, where your leverage actually is, and what income models those skills can support beyond employment. Because the moment you can answer, what could I build with what I already know, you immediately stop feeling like that cloud or that small box of feeling trapped. And once that door opens and you can see the possibilities, it's really hard to close it again. So if you're at a crossroads questioning whether you should go back or take the new job, or you're unsure what forward looks like, the tool is linked in my bio.
I always think it's so interesting when people quit their corporate jobs to like either become a full-time creator or like start their own business. And in the comment section, without a doubt, every single time there will be people saying, I cannot believe you're quitting your job. You have no stability now. The internet could be gone tomorrow, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, you have no stability. Do you think corporate is stable? People are getting laid off left, right, and center. Every single day, there's thousands of people getting laid off. There's no stability within corporations either. And you're silly to think that just because you have a corporate job today, that you'll have that same corporate job tomorrow. I mean, literally look at the job market, literally look at the news, look at how people are getting laid off every other day, and then say, should I shame random people on the internet for quitting their jobs and deciding they want to do something else that's fulfilling them? Or should I mind my business? You know, because that's always an option.
I always say that, man. It's 2026, moving forward. Mind your own business. But people don't know how to do that. So, but that's one of my staple sayings. I go to that every time. Mind your own business. Good. Stop worrying about what other people got going on. Why don't you focus on yourself? And it's funny, the people that usually tend to be in other people's business usually be the people that tend to be miserable, or they don't like the life that they live in. And that's also how that parasocial activities start, to where you're just not satisfied about where you are in life. So you kind of project yourself living the life of somebody else, and you kind of just infuse yourself into that person's life to the point to where it's like you like ride or die for this person. It's like, this person doesn't even know you. They don't know you. Relax, calm down. Let me get back to the video.
It is. But I just think it's interesting because the same way you can get laid off tomorrow is the same way the internet, yes, can be gone tomorrow, or creators can stop making money the same way that they are, or your business can go bankrupt, or you can run into like a really terrible thing. Like, forget the company letting you go. You could get sick, God forbid, but like you could get sick, and then what? You're still without a job. So it's like, if people want to invest in themselves, invest in a business, invest in their creation and their content and whatnot, then so be it. You go work your 9 to 5, they'll go do their thing. There's nothing wrong with either way. I just always think it's interesting whenever there's someone saying I quit corporate to do X, Y, and Z, there's always people that are like, I can't believe you've done this. You've ruined your life. No, you haven't. You're actually doing just fine. And if you wanted to, you could always go back to corporate. It's not like once you leave, the doors are slammed shut and you're screwed. You're not. Life is literally not that deep. You could do whatever the hell you want. You should take the risks, especially when you're a younger individual. Take the risk. It doesn't even matter. Even if you're 50, take the risk. If shit goes to hell, you have a backup plan. If your parents' house is right there and you can go back to them, you're good. Just take the risk, try it out, see if it happens, see if it works out, and then at least you know. I'm quitting my job today. I work.
Oh, dang. But she had a good point. I had a friend of mine who kind of opened my eyes to this because I never even thought about it. I never even looked into it. But she's from another country. And she literally she had to open my eyes to the fact that we're in the United States of America, the land of opportunity, where you could become a millionaire doing the smallest thing to the biggest thing. There's just so much opportunity here that I think a lot of people take it for granted, especially people who are born and raised here. And when she said that, I was like, yeah, I mean, it's facts. That's facts. Because people from other countries, they literally come here. They fight and they claw. They do everything they can to get to the land of dreams, the land of opportunities. And the people here take it for granted, but they're the same ones complaining about this person just moved here. How do they already have their own business? Why are all this race? Why does all this group of people have own gas stations? Why are all these group of people own dental offices? Why is this ethnic group of people own this, own that? And it's like, that's one thing Americans are very good at. They're good at complaining and hating on others. And it's like, well, why don't you go out there and get your own bag? Why don't you go out there and figure it out? Because it's clear that they just had more ambition. They went out there and figured it out, and they put themselves in the best position to possibly create generational wealth for them and their loved ones. And because they were given a second chance. Imagine the difference in the mindset to be given a second chance in where you've been told this is the land of opportunity. If I get given the chance to come here, there is no failing. It's do or die. And that's the mindset that a lot of people come over here with. But the people who already live here, we're comfortable. We're set. We have that mindset where everything's all good. We're in the best place possible. So we don't need to, we don't have that. A lot of people don't have that ambition to become great or to do everything they can to set their family up. Because you're already in the state where you feel like, oh, okay, yeah, it's good. We set. We ain't got nothing to worry about.
Full time as an analyst, and I don't even know what to say about it. I don't even know where to start, so I'm not even gonna right now. But we're gonna go and quit this job, and I'm gonna
damn,
celebrate tonight. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna turn in my 2 weeks. I'm not quitting on the spot. I'm gonna turn in my 2 weeks because I'm a decent human being. I don't even think they really deserve this courtesy, but I'm gonna give it to them out of the goodness of my heart. Just leave on a good note on my end.
Sheesh.
From me to me. That's about it. Let's go quit.
Sound like she's been thinking about this for a little minute now.
Yeah, that was awkward. I should have looked at my calendar before submitting that, and then I just went back to work, you guys. I literally just went back to work like nothing happened and had to go into that team meeting like, hey guys. But I'm so happy I did this. This was the best decision I've ever made in my entire life, and I have so many lessons to teach you guys. You won't even believe it.
I don't know you all, but the rate at which there's so many people sharing videos about their layoffs and them getting laid off every time, and then companies reporting about how much thousands of people they're about to lay off or they've laid off already is just so much. Like the stability is just out the window, because generally speaking, just living or working in a place where you're always constantly in fear that you could lose your job, or having, like, in this present day, that's, you know, constant, you know, you can't be relaxed because you never really know if the layoffs is about to affect you at any time. You just don't know, and then it's like, it's just a scary situation. It doesn't feel comfortable working any job. Working for anybody just doesn't feel comfortable. It just doesn't give you that, I just don't know. Like, I know, yeah, sometimes you just, I mean, you can't stress yourself about it every day because you just got to go on. But sometimes when you start seeing so many people get laid off, it gets you to a point where you start wondering and looking like, oh, this is really bad. Like, what if this gets to me? Like, because it can happen to anyone. A lot of people have really been sharing, like, many videos about how much they hate corporates, like some of the things that they really hate about corporate jobs. And when it comes to, like, the conversations about the personality changes, where you have to be smiling, faking your, you know, personality, and where your coworkers can actually be terrible. So you really have to find a way to put, like, some boundaries with your relationship with them, and they are not your friends. And also, we're trying to get promotions, trying to get some pay increase, backbiting, you know, and so many things that just go on there in the corporate world. It's so much. But I just thought I'd share this videos with you guys.
W video. That was a good video. I'm gonna leave y'all with my little 2 cents on this matter. At the end of the day, I know I feel like with social media, there's always a bunch of negativity and a bunch of people telling you how you should live your life. You live your life the best way you know how to. You do what's best for you. You do what's best for your situation. There's a lot of negativity surrounding 9 to 5s. But at the end of the day, you got to survive in this world. So if the 9 to 5 is what you got set up, don't just go out there and drop it and then go figure things out just because a bunch of people on the internet is telling you to do that. I got a 9 to 5 myself. I'm not dropping that just because, you know, the internet's telling me, you know, there's no stability here. I'm gonna keep working it. And, you know, if there's a better opportunity that comes along down the line, I'm gonna jump on that. But while I have what I have, it's taking care of the bills, it's keeping things paid. And honestly, it's stable as of now. Benefits are good, pay is good, and it's allowing me to live the lifestyle I'm currently living. So, if you feel like you can take that risk and take that leap of faith and you want to go do what you want to do, hey, go do, by all means, go ahead and take care of that. I'm not finna be the one to tell you not to do it or to be the one to tell you to do it. I'm just here living my life, and I hope you live your life to the best of that ability. But at the end of the day, my last message to leave off to you: don't let the negativity of the internet tell you what's good and what's not, especially when it comes to this 9 to 5 and entrepreneurship. Man, do what's best for you. Do what's best for you and your family. But other than that, I hope y'all have a great rest of your day. And take it easy.